Hello, 7Es, receiving students and teachers.
Hello,
Thank you. You may sit down. All right, 7Es and receiving students, 2 whole and 9/10 minus 1 whole and 3/5. Now, I'd like you to, receiving students, I'd like you to use the second method, or method 2, on how to subtract 2 whole and 9/10 and 1 whole and 3/5. So let's have Ruthie, if you can come up to the board and use method 2 to subtract 2 whole and 9/10 and 1 whole and 3/5. Right? Okay. We'll have Emmanuel to help Ruthie. Emmanuel? Thank you. I'd like you to use, remember, method 2. Right? Use method 2 to subtract those 2 mixed numbers. Receiving students? Now, while he is showing that method, I'd like you others also to check with your working out. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Good effort. Now, I'd like class, have a look at his working out. Did he use method 2 to get his answer? Okay, he did use method 2. And the first step that he did, what did he do? The first step? All right, he subtracted the whole numbers. All right, so 2 take away 1 plus, you keep the 2 proper fractions, plus 9/10 minus 3/5 equals, 2 take away 1 is 1 plus 9/10 minus 3/5. Now, before you go down to this step, firstly, what do? All right, you have to find the lowest common denominator for 10 and 5. So you can have it on a separate working out here to find the lowest common denominator, all right, which is 10 minus 6/10. Okay, good. Then you bring it down. Okay, so it goes in sequence, steps. All right, so after that, once you found the lowest common denominator, you make equivalent fractions out of the LCD, and then you subtract. So 1 plus 9/10 minus 6/10 is 1 plus, 9 take away 6 is 3. 1 plus 3/10 is the same as 1 whole and 3/10. So receiving students, I hope you used method 2 to subtract those two mixed numbers. Now let's move on to our topic for today's lesson, class, receiving students and 7Es. Topic for today's lesson, class, is on products with mixed number. Now when you hear the word product in product with mixed numbers, what operation are we using, class, receiving students? Let's have Florence.
Multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator.
Okay, thank you, Florence. All right, you are multiplying, okay, receiving students? Before you multiply the numerator and denominator, I'm just asking of what operation are you using? You are multiplying. Multiplying what? Fractions, or what's our topic? Receiving students. We are multiplying mixed numbers. Class, you are multiplying mixed numbers. If you multiply two numbers, you get the answer is the product. Is that true? Answer is the product, yes. So here we are trying to get the answer of multiplying two mixed numbers. So product of mixed numbers or product with mixed numbers. Now, so we multiply, okay? Now let's look at 3 whole and a quarter times 1 whole and 3/5. Receiving students, let's look at this worked example. When we are multiplying two mixed numbers or mixed numbers, we have steps that we follow, right? We have steps that we follow. And in your workbook, receiving students and 7Es, you also have the steps on page 15 of your workbook, all right? Now I'd like us to go through the steps when multiplying mixed numbers. Now firstly, what is the first step that you have to do when you want to multiply two mixed numbers? All right, let's have Scotty. All right, Scotty, what's the first step? Receiving students?
Express and mixed number as improper fraction.
All right, the first step thank you, Scotty. The first step that you must do is you express the mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay, that's the first step that you do. Now what's the second step? After you have expressed the mixed numbers into improper fractions, what do you do next? Joshua?
Simplify the numerator and denominator equivalent.
Okay, Joshua, thank you. Diagonally, yeah. All right, simplify the numerator and the denominator diagonally. All right, diagonally. Okay. Okay, diagonally, class, receiving students, in this direction, yes? Diagonally, okay? So you simplify diagonally. This is what we say, what we mean when we say diagonally. Okay, good. Now, after that, what's next? Let's have Isaac, quickly.
Multiply the numerator, then multiply the denominator.
All right, good. Multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators. Now after that, Lisa?
Express any improper fractions as mixed numbers.
Okay, very good. Express any improper fractions as mixed numbers. Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at 3 whole and a quarter times 1 whole and 3/5. Okay, who can give us the answer to this problem here? 3 whole and a quarter times 1 whole and 3/5. Right. Okay, Glenda?
4 times 3 equals 12 plus 1 equals 13 over 4. Okay. For 5 times 1 equals 5 times plus 3 equals 8 over 5. Okay, now simplify. The 4 into 4 goes 1. 4 into 2 goes 8. 4 into 2 goes 4 into 8 goes 2. Cannot. Okay. 13 over 13 times 2 over 1 times 3. 13 2 times 13 times 2 equals 36 26 over 5. Now it divide. 5 whole and 4 and 1/5.
Okay, thank you, Glenda. All right, good. So your answer for that worked example should be 5 whole and 1/5. All right, following the steps. If you follow the steps carefully, then you would have got your answer as 5 whole and 1/5. All right, cool. Class, let's look at our activity for today's lesson. All right, I'd like you to quickly do 1A and B. 7Es and receiving students, quickly do 1A and B, please. I'll give you 3 minutes to complete that one. Question 1A and B. Just pretend. Which one is that? Okay. But you didn't simplify 8 and 12. Can you simplify 8 and 12? Divide evenly into 8 and 12? Yeah. So why didn't you simplify? Why didn't you divide? There's any, you must divide both ways diagonally, this way and also this way. If you cannot, if it cannot, then you leave it out. If it can, yes. Like for this one, you can. Because it's hard work again to divide again. Everything is already, it should be here. You get what I'm saying? Like 4 into 8 is 2. 4 into 12 is 3. So instead of coming and dividing again, it's like this. 3 times 3 is 9. It's equal to 1 times 2 is equal to 9 over 2. Then you get your answer. What's 4 whole and a half? Simple. Instead of going back to see these big numbers here, the small numbers already. Like this. Okay, good. That's same with this one too. 4 and 6. You can divide evenly. Can you see? 4 2 into 2 into 4 is 2. 2 into 6 is 3. So you see, 3 times 3 over 9. 2 times 1 is equal to 9 over 2 is equal to 4 and a half. See, this one you're going through a long process again here. Okay? 2 and 8 you can simplify. Okay, 7 is all right. 7 is and receiving students will correct question 1A together. Receiving students, you can complete question 1 and 2. Question 1 and 2 in your workbook in your own time, and you can make your corrections or your teacher can correct it for you. So what we're going to do now is we'll just go through question 1A and 1B. All right. Now, 2 whole and 2/5 times 1 whole and 7/8. I'd like someone to give me the first step. Okay. Let's have Annie. Annie, can you tell me while I write it down?
Change the mixed numbers to improper fractions.
Okay, good. So that's the first step that I'm going to do. Change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. Now, when I change the mixed numbers into improper fractions, now I can multiply and add. Okay, so
2
again,
times 5 equals 10 plus 2 equals 12. 12 over 5.
12 over 5. So you say 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2, which is 12 over 5 times
1 times 8 equals 8 plus 7 equals 15 over 8.
Okay, so 1 times 8 plus 7, all right, is 15,
Yeah.
15 over 8. Now, okay, good. Okay, thank you, Annie. Now let's have someone else to tell us. Continue on from here. Receiving students, what's the next step? Ruben.
Simplify the mixed number, improper fraction.
Again?
Simplify the improper fraction.
Okay, how am I simplifying?
5 times 5.
Okay, I'm simplifying firstly the direction diagonally. Okay, good. So, which two numbers can I simplify? Which numbers can I simplify?
5.
Okay, 5 and
15.
all right, so
5 into 5 goes 5. 1.
1.
5 into 15 goes 3.
Okay, 5 into 15 goes 3. Good. Can I simplify here?
Yes.
By what number?
4.
Okay, so I can get 4. 4 can divide evenly into 8, and 4 can divide evenly into 12. Okay, so 4 into 8 is
2. 4 into 12 is 3.
okay, good. Okay, thank you, Ruben. Now, let's have Bradley. Continue. What's next? What should I do?
Three over 1 times 2 over 3. 3 over 2.
Okay,
Then
but firstly,
the
multiply.
3 times 3 equals 9. 9 over 2.
Okay, which is 9 over
Over
2, and your answer will be
4 1 over 4 half.
whole and a half. Okay, thank you. All right, good. So what Bradley said, okay, you multiply the numerators and the denominators. So 3 times 3 is 9 over 1 times 2, which is 9 over 2 is equal to 4 and a half. Okay, 70s and receiving students. Now we're going to stop here, 70s and receiving students. Receiving students, you can continue on with your activity, okay, activity 1 and 2 in your workbook. Okay, activity 1 and 2 in your workbook in your own time, and not forgetting the other additional activities. All right, let's look at the steps again when we are multiplying mixed numbers. The first step, what do we do? Can I have Donald? Donald, can you give us the first step? What do we do when we multiply mixed numbers?
Change mixed numbers into improper fractions.
Okay, good. Change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. All right, what's the next step? After you have changed the mixed numbers into improper fractions, what do you do? Alan?
Simplify the numerator and denominator.
Okay, good. Now after changing the mixed numbers into improper fractions, you then simplify. You simplify or you get a number that can divide evenly, all right? A number that can divide evenly into this number and this number, and it's supposed to be diagonally both ways. So this way diagonally, this way too, diagonally. Okay, if you see a number that cannot divide evenly into both numbers, then you don't, all right? But in this case, you can. 12 and 8, 5 and 15. Okay? Now, after you have done that, the next step, Jubilee,
Multiply the fractions.
okay, good. You multiply the fractions, or you can say you multiply the remaining numerators, all right, and the denominators. So this is what we mean. These are the remaining ones. After you have cross-cancelled, see the 3 and 3, you multiply. Multiply the numerators and the denominators. And after that, Daryl?
Express any mixed number. Express any proper fraction as the mixed number.
Okay, good. Express any improper fractions as mixed numbers. This is an improper fraction, so you have to change it into a mixed number. All right. Okay, thank you, 7Es and receiving students. We'll stop here. Right. Our key phrase for today's lesson class is products of mixed numbers. And in our next lesson, we're going to look at division or divide with mixed numbers. All right? Thank you, 7Es and receiving students, for your participation in today's lesson. Thank you. You may sit down.